Is it glary or is it just me? Whoa. I don't know if I'll be able to see. I need to see. That's the issue here, right? I need light. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? It is September 30th of 2022 at 4:23 a.m. in the morning. We're going to try something different here in a little bit. I've got my other computer on because I want to talk about the United States trademark within this little video that I'm doing. Because, I'm in my grace period right now in terms of I have from June until December it's going to cost me a bit more money to re-register for another 10 years. Why are you fussing now? And what are you doing up anyway? Go back to sleep. Heard me talking. Anyway, for the first 10 years or whatever it is or so, well, really almost 20 years, 18 years, like you never really fully get registered until after you do a declaration. And it takes, well, now mind you, I dragged it out, right? Because I could never jump the hurdles fast enough. But they had grace periods where if you didn't accomplish something or you weren't ready to do something, you had a 6-month period to do it. And then, of course, there'd be a little extra money attached to that, right? And the last time I went through this was in 2018, I remember, because I did those Peeps fashion pages, right, to submit. So to say that, I've been blah, blah, blah. And I paid, I don't know, $800 American or whatever it was. Maybe it was more. I'm not sure. And I thought I was done. I thought I was done for 10 years. Okay. I thought once I did that declaration, everything would be fine. No. Then I get informed that I still have to now re-register for another 10 years. And that was coming up in 2022. And last year I thought I could pay for it last year because I thought it was due last year, and they said no. And what they've done now is they've made it where I can't do it for myself. I have to have an American lawyer do it for me. Mm-hmm. An American lawyer, not a Canadian lawyer, but an American lawyer. And that's being done right through the trademark office, right? Those are decisions that are coming from there. And I think they said it came from the actual federal government itself. So you're looking at extra costs, right? Because you're paying, like I'm paying in Canadian funds, right? So if the lawyer is, I don't know, I don't think it's that expensive to do the paperwork. I think it's something like only $400 or something like that dollars just to do the paperwork. But that's in American dollars. So in a situation like that, it would cost me more money, right? So anyway, in regards to the title of this video, which is Giving Truth What He Wants, it's a lonely road that I walk on. Especially when you're up at this time in the morning, trying to listen to see if somebody's creeping your yard, right? Because they are, eh? And what can you do about that at this time of the morning, right? So I promised truth for like months, and I haven't done it yet. Because it's like pulling teeth without any freezing. It's a painful moment to be going into ShaMay's binders. Okay. Looking for when she went to high school. And college. And then when she went back to college, but then she was murdered 12 days before she even got to step through the door, even though it had been paid for. So it's not a memory lane that I like to go down. Let's just say it that way. And I don't think I'm going to be able to see. Now, I do want to try something different here. Now, this is just a camcord through the YouTube. What is it called? Server. Nothing fancy, no bells and whistles, right? In terms of like what I suppose StreamYard can provide, but StreamYard for me in Canada doesn't work. It's always flashing like as if I was in a freaking discotheque. Anyway, and XSplit is a little more complicated, to which I really don't have time to be mucking with it. So I just choose the path of least resistance, and this is it. But I am curious to know what would happen. Now, I know if I take the camera and I put it on here, I took it and turned it around and basically put it on the screen that I'm looking at. Hello, right? I'll probably get that tunnel vision, eh? But what would happen if I took the camera and I put it on here? Am I going to get another tunnel vision? Like, where is it the optics come in that things go into a tunnel vision? So first, let's do that, because I do kind of want to continue talking on for a little bit with the trademark, because this is important in terms of the final decision that, manifests by December of 2022. Right? Because when you've had something for 22 years and you've been working really, really hard and you've believed in the mission, and you had faith in people and you had faith in society and just whatever, right? It's really hard to let go of those. It's almost like core morals, because it's more than principles. It's going into where morals are the what is it called? They're the ones that show the leadership. It's the morals within society that sets the precedence of society, right? And therefore, it brings equilibrium where there's more justice and fairness and equality in society. We're losing a lot of that now, right? And, everybody's suffering to one degree or another, right? Obviously, some of us are feeling it more than others. And I mean, like, this is not the time to be bailing ship, okay? In terms of when you work on something with a real core belief that what you're doing is the right thing for 22 years, right? Because I started in 2000. I actually started in 1999, but I started the paperwork in 2000. And we're in 2022, almost halfway done, almost done with the year now, right? So, it's not something that you just want to toss away because things aren't going your way, right? Or maybe you feel like it's a lost cause, right? Because you just get rid of the lost cause. It's not a problem anymore. It might be a problem, though, if I, don't make an attempt to maybe salvage something in terms of a federal trademark for the United States of America, because basically I've got 4 classes, right? It's so hard to see. I was looking for my magnifying glass. This is a small one, but first of all, I just want to see if this works, okay? Because I'm curious to see if I get the tunnel vision. Hold on. Let's see. Are we getting okay, let's just go. I don't know. For me, it's all blurry. There we go. Oh, the letters are coming in backwards. Everything looks backwards. Okay. Well, now we know. I want to know. There's something else I want to know. I'll pull up a video and I'll play it and I'll put that on there and then let's see what happens. Okay. Because, like I said, I don't have time to be mucking around with XSplit to try and figure out the settings so that I can bring in other pages through screen share, right? It's too complicated. My head is too stressed out to be adding in more, right? But I'll get on it sooner or later when I get caught up with this other stuff. Okay, so back to what I want to talk about here. Because first of all, I'm here to give Truth what he wants in terms of the schools that ShaMay was going to, because he's going to be doing another video. He's been talking about kind of like a documentary, so to what degree, I don't know. So, for me, it's a lonely time because I'm looking at memories of my daughter that are like, and this is only one book, and I've got like 2 more down there and more papers floating around the house. So, you have a child and you get them to a stage where you think they're safe in terms of she was 22 before she was murdered. You don't even stop to think that, first of all, they're going to be murdered, right? Especially if you felt pretty confident that you got them through the worst stages of adolescence when it comes to those negative influences in the community, right? And then when it happens, everybody's so nonchalant about it, as if they did it to themselves and somehow they deserve what they got, because that is the general message that's being purported by healthcare workers, policing agencies, coroners, politicians when they get up on their podiums and do their crocodile tears talking about, oh, well, we had 2,400 fentanyl deaths in the province of British Columbia in 2021, boo-hoo-hoo. But at the end of the day, they were all sitting in closets by themselves, not reaching out for help to, deal with their issues. So therefore, somehow they deserved it because, they were either depressed and wanted to kill themselves and they took the easy route out, or it was an accident. Oops, woe is me. Let's go on to the next sad sob story, right? It's like, I'd put that at a probably 70% of the general mentality of the way people in general are so gullible to believe what, the public union sector, the government and their employees, the ruling class, the ones that show the way, right? The ones that tell us what to do, those ones, right? The ones that say, don't breathe, right? They're gullible. They just fall for it, whether they're capitalizing off of it because they're actually, harvesting organs as an end result because of it, or, they're getting rid of problems that, they don't necessarily want to pay for within the healthcare system, because with addiction comes health issues, right? The longer the addiction, the worse the health issues become, which becomes, I don't want to say a burden or a strain on the healthcare system, but for a lot of people, that's how they see it, right? So, that's what I'm up against, right? It's like that Judge Ross, he talking on about, oh, well, I don't believe that a hospital could even embalm, just with the fact that it would be immoral to do it, right? It's not that they couldn't do it, that he was more adamant to say that they wouldn't do it because the healthcare system as a whole operates with ethics, to which is untrue, right? And that's why I have these binders, which reminds me of the reality of the situation. And it's not just one situation, it's a situation across the continent, because fentanyl in itself is a murder weapon. Well, our governments and their employees, okay, are irresponsible to clean up the situation because there's too much money involved. Anyway, truth for reality, like I said, he's doing a little video. He likes to, to add in the good points of the individuals that he does his commentary on. In regards to what I've noticed is a lot of these young people that are being murdered, okay, through different methods, many of them young women, but men too, right, are of like high intelligence for whatever reason. I can only contribute it to in a very, like minor way sense where it's like jealousy. There's jealousy that broods in people. Bruise, like you're brewing something, brewing beer, right? You're fermenting it for a long time, right? Jealousy is a very big factor in the murder of other people, to which, because of the type of technologies that we have today in our world, right? The ones with the money, the ones with the resources, the ones that can use legislation to their advantage, but then also ignore it and get away with it and not be held to account, which ultimately goes down to that common denominator, which is the government and their employees, right? Right? No matter how much they try and say, oh, well, we wouldn't do that, or they couldn't do that, and, God forbid, right? No, people. They're making money on it, right? And people are now covering it up even more so that body parts can be sold on the black market. So when I, have to get into binders, because we know that the fight isn't over yet. Okay. Just like I have to make decisions around the trademark, I have to make decisions around this too. Right? And I've gone this far with these binders. So now it's a matter of sitting there with my magnifying glass and start logging them down and getting them ready for the next fight. Seriously. So I get lonely though, because I shouldn't have to be doing this. My daughter should be here. You see, that's the point. There was no reason for her to be murdered at such a young age. And for my government to be negligent, to even suggest that she did it to herself, is just that, negligent, okay? And this is where truth helps me, because he's willing to stick his neck out and stand up for justice. So I have to give him what he wants, and that's very simple. I just have to find it. But it makes me lonely when I look for it. That's the thing. It really does. And that's why I turned on this camera, basically. And then, of course, I decided to talk about the trademark, which I will continue to do, because now I'm going to look for what I need. Hopefully I'll find it soon. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the trademark here for a second. That's the United States one, okay? I'm just trying to make it where I can put this binder here and kind of go through these pages just to find what I'm looking for. And then just send him a quick email. That's it. Because I gave him everything else. I gave him pictures. I gave him videos. I gave him the story, right? He knows. He knows exactly what's been going on all these years. But he likes to give credit where credit is due, in terms of ShaMay was, scholared people, right? She just came up through, I don't know. Like, I don't know what, like, oh, okay, I do know. You see, that's the thing. After all this time is done, and I've had plenty of time to just go through it and think about it and just everything, the targeting of families is real. The harvesting of their organs is real. Okay? The exploitation of their situations to prop up other ministries and agencies is real. Okay? So I know why these things happened. But it makes me sad. So I have to look for the schools that she was registered in. Right? But it's so hard for me to see these days. So, okay, let's talk about this trademark for a second here. So, anyway, I don't have to register 4 classes because I got currently 4 classes signed up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Truth. Found one. I think this is the one that she was supposed to go to. Okay. Like 12 days before she was murdered. All right. On Monday, she sat here at the computer, right exactly where I'm sitting, and did everything online that needed to be done in regards to, because she had her student loan approved for over $15,000, and she was going to but they were cutting her off of social assistance. And I told her, like, don't worry, ShaMay, just go to school. There's lots of food in the house, mom preps, right? And we'll get through it, right? I'll watch Mari, but go back to the welfare office and put another application in just in case. So that's what she was working on Monday. She was like setting up an appointment to drop off paperwork at the social services office, because she got her $15,000 loan, to see if they would just maybe compensate, to top off, right? After she paid her rent and whatever, right? Because she had to pay for everything, right? That 15,000 was for her to live on for the duration that she was going for that a period of time through this college, which was Stenberg. See, I have to change glasses when I'm looking at the computer. And different glasses work for different computers because I got 2 different computer screens on, right? I was like, cuckoo. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, fuck. Oh my Lord. And then my eyes go bing. It's like shit. Can't see shit here. But this is important. I have to do this. So I'm gonna do it now. So, yeah. So Monday she was sitting here doing everything that needed to be done on the computer, although she wasn't feeling very well because of these smokes that she was smoking, people, right? She got dizzy. She got nauseated. At one point, she even passed out. Okay. Yeah. And she couldn't understand why. And I said, well, you must be sick, ShaMay. Like, it must be a flu or something. But because she was on a time schedule and had to get all this paperwork figured out, Tuesday she went out. Yeah. Tuesday she came up at 9:30 in the morning. I got Amari, and then she ran around out and she took care of anything to do with social services, whatever, her banking. And then she went and got her passport picture. She waited for the people who were supposed to sign the passport so that, it could be, because she wanted to go see her dad. But for whatever reason, they couldn't make it that day. So she ended up coming home. And again, she was sick. Okay. And she stayed pretty close to me until about 1:30 in the morning. And I'm like, okay, ShaMay, like, you need to go downstairs for a while so I can sleep. And by 9:00 that morning, she was dead. Okay. Okay, so we're sending Truth an email. This is important. I've been promising him for months that I'd do this, and I just haven't done it. Because, like I said, it's kind of painful. Right? But I am going to be getting into these pictures hardcore. You wait and see, people. It ain't over yet. It's not over. No. So, yeah, as for the trademark, I'm thinking maybe I'll just take 2 classes instead of 4. And then it won't be so expensive, because if I do all 4, I think it's something like 3,200 Canadian, because I have to pay in Canadian funds. It will be, I think it was $500 if I would have met my deadline per class. So that would have been $2,000 just for the 4 classes, and that's American funds. So I don't know what it would be in Canadian funds, but a fair amount. And then I would have had to pay the lawyer yet, the American lawyer in American funds. And I think it was coming up to like 3,200 Canadian, which is a lot of money. Last year I had it, but people, I'm sorry, I did food prep. I don't know. To me, it just felt like the right thing to do, and I'm still kind of working on it. So, but once I get my little, what do you call those things? Hydroponics and that kind of stuff going, and I'm getting kind of good at it, maybe I won't feel so insecure, right? Okay, so what am I doing here? All right. Let me just get this done first. So yeah, 4 classes, that's what I'm thinking. I'll just settle for 2. The 2 main ones, the 2 big ones, the 2 that have a good poof poof, right? Those 2, because you never know, right? Something could change, right? You never know. And just because I give up the trademark, let's just say it happens that way in the United States of America, wouldn't mean that I would ever stop fighting for the United States of America, because I would just continue doing me. I would be continuing to do what I've been doing, and, right? And maybe I can find another way. Who knows? You don't know. Okay, stay focused. What am I doing? Here we go. Stenberg. Oops. Spelled it wrong. And the fonts on this are so small. So small. But if I increase the font, then it doesn't fit the screen properly. Okay. And he'll want the date, I'm sure. So if I can cut the bill down to $1,500 in a bit, I don't know if I can squeak that in. I mean, I just have to not pay a few credit cards, and to hell with them, right? I'll play catch up later. Yes, crooked, but not really, because it's important, right? And it's not like the credit card, CIBC Bank, $17,000 later, still after all these years since Uncle John's been medically kidnapped. It's amazing how I got stuck with the bill, huh? Uh-huh. Well, so what if I miss a payment? All they do is jack up the interest rate and make me pay more. That's it. That's all they do. Because they're crooked. As they accuse me of being crooked. Yeah, okay. I don't make $300 a month just in interest alone off of a vulnerable family that I took advantage of. The shoe is on the other foot, right? Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so when was this? Yeah. March 28th of 2018. And ShaMay was murdered on April 11th of 2018. So, was to go to college on I know it was 12 days before, like she only had 12 more days or something before she was going to start. So she was murdered on the 28th. I'm sorry, on April 11th. Add on 12 days, it would be by the 23rd. 23rd or the 24th she was going to start. End date, here we go. Let's see, start date. It was, April 23rd. So April 23rd was her start date, but she was murdered on April 11th. Okay, you do the math. All right. This is what I mean. It's depressing. It's very sad. Okay. Sternberg College was to start. Let me just fix this up. Was to start college on April 23rd, 2018. And this is what my government trivializes. Okay, now we need to find the next one, which would be in 17. So I don't need this book. I need another book. I have to log this stuff yet. And even then, I don't know. Nobody pays attention to it, people. They don't pay attention or they won't pay attention to this any more than the stuff that I submitted with Uncle John. Because they're crooks. I mean, look how thick this is. Oops. There's glasses. Nothing else in here? I better be careful what I'm doing. Okay. Come on. I have two more down here. This one's like really, really heavy. Like you go. It's probably your medical files. Medical files. April 11th of 2018. See how much money the hospital made on her dead body, playing it off as if it was fucking alive? Like, seriously. Oh, there must be another book. I don't think it's in that book. This one here says medical files, birth to 2017. Is Amari's in here? February 20. How do I know this? Yeah, Amari's files are in here. Like, in terms of from ShaMay's perspective. These are not Amari's medical files, but there's ShaMay's medical files with the birth of Amari in here. There must be another book. Here's a book. What is this one? Unless it's in here. Yeah, it says 2019, 2018. There's another one. Oh, I don't want to go look for it right now. I think I know where it is. Hold on. Oh shit! I gotta move. Crap! It ain't happening. I got some. What is it? 22 or 25 pounds of organic raisins and some coconut milk. 4 cases. And 2 more pounds or 2 more bags of 22 pounds each of wheat. One with hard white wheat, the other one with red hard wheat. No, soft white wheat and hard red wheat. 22 pounds, 22 pounds. Then I got smaller buckets coming. I'm going to put them in the buckets. And those are going to be the 2 main staples to get into when it comes time to grinding the wheat berries to make bread or whatever. I'm trying to get myself motivated and get into a routine before I even get into the routine in terms of what would work best if you were to stop buying store-bought bread and just got into grinding your own wheat to know that you're not eating bug flour. So I am just going to send truth for reality. This for now. Okay. So I basically just said, and still have to look for another book for the high school and other college she went to. I'm just going to push send. So 1 down, 2 more to go. There's another book. I think I know which book it is in. Okay. Yeah. So I'll do that today. As I put these ones away, I'll look for the other book because right now, like I said, I get what happens? I think this is what happens. Well, I know this is what happens. All this crappy shit happens in my life, right? And, bad news. Your eyes are never going to get better. Better get used to it and be prepared. It might get worse. And I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I suppose for some people, that's why they drink, right? Or maybe, I don't know. I don't know how people deal with shit like that, right? All I know is, like, I come home and, I'm not using that as an example, but that's just one of a few pressures, right? It's more than one usually. And then there's a trigger, right? Whether I see a video on BitChute or on YouTube where, the reality of our supply chains falling apart, and knowing what I know, how the government and their employees like to pick one off here and pick one off there and pick off another one over there. And they hope that you don't notice that they're being picked off, even though it's plain to see that something's happening, right? That's the way I see the food shortage. I within different jurisdictions, I mean, some places are more abundant than others, right? But at the end of the day, it's being picked off. Okay, there's no denying it. And it's an indicator that a lot of people are going to start going hungry, right? In terms of food security. Tammy, good morning, good morning, morning. Man, I gotta go to work. I'll be listening on the way. Sending you love. Yeah, thank you. Sending you love back. I didn't want to get into ShaMay's binders all by myself. I was feeling too lonely for that. So I just thought I'd pop this on and just touch base with the crew, right? And get on with what I got to do for Truth for Reality in terms of letting them know what school ShaMay went to, in terms of the high school and the 2 colleges, right, that she had been enrolled in, because he's going to be doing another video, right? And so I'm kind of multitasking here. I talked a little bit about the trademark and how I'm finding it difficult just to turn my back on 22 years of, something. And maybe I can come to a compromise if I wheel and deal with my bills, so I can slap down $1,500 or $1,800 or whatever it is, to at least secure maybe 2 of the classes within the trademark, to give us another 10 years, just in case we can get our acts together as a group, whether large or small, right? Why is that important? Because I came out on the right foot, and I want to leave on the right foot. I believe in what I've been working on for 22 years, even though I haven't been very successful with it, right? And I don't want to drop the ball, especially knowing what I know and what my family has paid in terms of their lives, just so that I do know what we're up against as a society, right? So I want to end this now because I got to get on with things. And I'm already burning out because I woke up real early because I ended up falling asleep for a bit. So, and I've been kind of worn out from this running around downtown and then the hospital. Then I went for the eye stuff and people running around with their masks on. You go into the hospital, they want you to wear a mask. I told them no. right? Just said no, right? Oh, I said, well, I have a mask exemption, but the only thing is, it was either taken from my purse when I was at the Sir Memorial Hospital, because that's the last time I thought I had it, when Amari was in there, because for whatever reason it disappeared. So technically, I have to go get a new one. But I do have a mask. If they really want to follow up on it, they can get a hold of my family doctor and confirm it through my medical files that I have a mask exemption. Because for the one that I had before, I lost it, but I just said, no, I'm not wearing it, whatever, right? So fine, they let me go, right? Do whatever. And everybody else running around with their masks on. And then when I went for the eye thing, they tried to tell me to put on a mask. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I have a mask exemption, although I lost it. But besides the point, I'm not doing that. Oh, but this is a medical center. I said, I'm not doing that. They had a choice to either send me away, which they knew legally they couldn't, so they didn't. And then they asked me to put on a mask when I was doing the eye thing because they said they couldn't disinfect it. I said, whatever, I'll compromise. I'll do the best that I can. And as soon as I put that thing on my face, oh my God, talk about going claustrophobic. Oh, and then there was some old lady sitting there going on about, well, I like masks. Mm-mm-mm. And I'm like, yeah, because I feel sorry for you people. Like literally, you don't know, like, right? Just, oh, it irks me. Oh, well, I like it. As a matter of fact, I'm more comfortable with it. And I said, okay, well, then so be it. But, don't, right? Right? She goes, it's my choice. And I said, yeah, just like me. It's my choice too, people. Okay? Seriously, for all this shit that's been going on all these years in terms of, hey, what are you doing? All these years with the, I don't want to say propaganda, but basically, I mean, this is YouTube. You can only talk so much, right? When it comes to misinformation in a medical realm. But when have you really seen me sick? Or anyone in my family sick, for what it's worth? And when you get sick, like when we did get sick, when Uncle John when we all got that flu, the Surrey flu that was killing people out in the freaking streets that were homeless and stuff, the Surrey flu where, Surrey Memorial Hospital had Uncle John in the freaking hall for 2 days, 3 days, or whatever it was before they finally put him upstairs. And that was only after they started drugging him. And then they kept him drugged as they were manipulating the situation to medically kidnap him so that his assets could be seized. Like, for what it's worth, in terms of getting sick, like, you get sick, well, what do you think's going to happen if you got something to take? And then if they don't want something from you, then they treat you like Sierra. Right? Or like me. Well, I wonder why the referral didn't go in. Well, I don't know. Maybe because it was just sent through an email. Oh, well, that makes sense. Must be. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to see if I can rustle up, I don't know, maybe $1,800. I just won't pay a couple bills. I'll be a renegade. We'll see. That's right. To secure at least maybe two classes within the trademark. The Canadian one doesn't come up until 2025, which is more money. And for what it's worth, Canadians aren't any more different than Americans when it comes to anything that I work on. Seriously. If anything, they're worse because they're right in my community. And honestly, they don't give a shit. So why I even waste my time, people, I don't know. I just don't know. After 22 years, you'd think I'd freaking know. Like, how much do I have to lose in order for me to wake up and smell the coffee? That there really isn't much of a community to talk about, to do anything for, to think about, to participate in, to anything, right? Outside of, well, who are you picking off next? Who are you targeting next? targeting somebody. Just like they're targeting the food. No different. No, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen over the next 5 years, people, in terms of society and how we all get along and what our food source will be. That's kind of why I want to hang on to the foundation. At least I kind of represent real food, at least in thought and theory, right? You know what I mean? Because I'd never promote bugs. God forbid. No. Maybe for chickens, but not for humans. No. So if anything, that's where the good fight is, right? Right. More reason to not let go of the past, right? Okay, so I'm going to get off. I'm going to exit out of this. Oh, no, I want to try one other thing just to see. So we got that. We got to go look for the other binder. We know what we're doing with the trademark. And then I just kind of want to see if I can put this camera onto this screen with those speakers to see what we get. Does the sound start to loop? I don't think it would. We know that letters come back looking backwards. I'm just curious. I think if I was to put it on this computer, it maybe be different. Oh, yeah. So when I get under stress and I get all, I don't know, feeling insecure, I suppose, I tend to just buy more food. Yeah. But I'm at the point where I don't really need to buy much more. I'm just looking for something to. Here, I'll put on this. Let's see. This has to do with Florida.
Here at Nissan, we have excitement down with science.
Of course, it'd be a commercial, right?
Call it Thrillology.
The memories are still vivid. On May 29, 2016, disaster struck the village of Braunschweig in southwestern Germany.
Okay, so I just want to hear to see if that's coming out normal, which I think it would. Because, I'm not very good at live streams. I know if I had it on different server like StreamYard or something like that. Maybe it might, when you get that looping, right? I just wanted to know. So I'll go back and listen. We just seen those floods, right? Do you know how helpless I feel sitting up here in Canada when I see stuff like that? That was kind of one reason why I started the foundation, because I thought for some strange reason, we could build in a backup. But people aren't really, I don't know. Maybe they're just too mistrustful and there's just too many scam artists around. And maybe that's why things just definitely a lot of jealous people that don't want to see you succeed. That's a big hurdle, right? And just on that alone, you'd think I'd just be like, let it go, Judy. Let it go. You can't accomplish anything more than what you have not accomplished already or even accomplished, right? So, like who in their right mind takes $1,800 and just says, here, you can have it. That's like going to the courthouse and slapping down another $200 for an appeal just so that my government can come back and freaking punk me off. Okay. And they want me to spend $1,000 more on paperwork so that 3 judges can look at the same paperwork that the last judge looked at, that the government will come back in multiples of 10, and it will still be thrown out. Like, life is just a big waste of time and money, man. Like, it really, in a lot of ways, it is. So, but it's up for debate. I'm thinking I won't do 4 classes. I'll consider maybe 2. Because when I see stuff like that with the Florida floods and that kind of thing, it just, I feel compelled to help in some kind of way. And that's why I did the foundation, because that was my way of trying to get Canada involved with the United States, and with the United States involved with Canada on a people movement level, right? Not on a quote unquote political level. But our political system is so corrupt that they wouldn't allow a foundation like mine to be very successful, because it would remove their power over the community, more than one. Right? And that's why they are always going out of their way to sabotage my family and scandalize us, even till this day. Anyway, I'm done with this live. I will be back and I will try it again. Have a good day.